気圧フォーススネークマン
Hello everyone, today I have a new video for you. It is the BP Luffy, post-ban BP Luffy deck list. This is a deck list that I whipped up on my own, and I think it's pretty decent. You know, there's just no healing factor, and it's not that consistent, but it's decent enough. I've played a lot of games now with this deck list, and I would say that I've won about probably 55 to 60% of my games, and that's pretty good. Can't really knock it because it's without the 9-cost mom and the Katakuri, right? But there's lots of great cards that we put in its place, and a lot of 2k counters that we did put in to supplement, right, to be really defensive, especially because we're just a 3 life leader and we can't really waste our life anymore because there's no heals, right? So let's get right into the deck list. So for those of you who don't know, Monkey D. Luffy is a 3 life leader, 6000 power. You can activate the effect at the start of the turn, of your turn, and if you have 8 or more Dawn cards on the field, look at the top 5 cards and reveal a Straw Hat Crew type card, and then add it to your hand. Then place the remaining cards at the top of or bottom of your deck in any order. So the archetype is basically the same as how it was before the pairing ban. So you'll see that here in a second, where we just replace the mom, the 9-cost mom for something that can bottom deck, and the Katakuri with just rush options. And so let's get right into the deck list I have here. It's Nami, the first card that we have. 5-cost Nami, 6k, it's a blocker. On play, if your leader is multicolored, draw 3 cards and place 2 cards on the top or bottom, so good cycle. Good card. Next card, we run a 2 of Aramaki. OPO6 Aramaki, 8 cost 8k, good target for Sanji. It's a blocker, and the activate main is once per turn, discard a card from your hand and return 1 cost 2 or lower character to the bottom of its owner's deck, and then the character gains plus 3000 power for the turn. So it's like good to get rid of some chump blockers, especially if you really need it to swing for lethal, right? So we just run 2 of those. Nothing really too crazy. Next we have the Dracula Mihawk, 7 Warlords of the Sea, 9 cost. This is your prime target aside from the Rush Luffy to hit with the Sanji, because you bottom deck a cost 7 or less card, and a lot of the meta cards, I think we go against a green purple Luffy, a lot of the meta cards are 7 cost or less, and you can just get rid of those cards really easy with this card, especially if you chain Sanji Mihawk, then you're getting rid of 2 7-cost bodies each turn, right? So really good card. I think it's a really good replacement for now until we get into OP13 or any future support that this deck gets, if it does even. So 9-cost Mihawk, run 4 of. 9-cost Sanji, it's self-explanatory. On play, reveal the top card of your deck, put it into play if it's a cost 9 or less other than Sanji, and then yeah. So next, the Zorojuro for our ramp, because we want to get to 10 as soon as possible, always, especially now. We really want to get to it as soon as possible, so we run 4 of the Zorojuro, and when attacking, it's a 3-cost 4k. When attacking, if you have 3 or less life, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active, right? Next we have our first 2k of the deck. It's Usohachi. On play, if you have 8 or more Dawn, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 5 or less. So great card, great 2k. It's a 3 cost. If you need to rest one of their blockers, use it, right? Bring it out. Now, one thing I'm missing from this deck list that I just noticed, which we'll talk about a little later. Next is another ramp option for us. It's the Mr. 2 Bankure Bentam. On play, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck as active, right? It's a 4-cost 1k that can, and then when attacking, select up to one of your opponent's characters. The character's base power becomes the same as the selected character power during this turn. So really good card. Next we have our next 2k, which is the Frenosuke. Instead of the Sanji blocker, because we're never going to be minusing our Dawn, we have this option just because it has rush if you add 1 Dawn to it. If you have 8 or more Dawn, of course. So the ability is, it's a 5 cost 4k, 2k counter, Frenosuke, Dawn times 1. If you have 8 or more Dawn on your field, this character gains Rush. So it's an okay card, but mainly still for the 2k, right? Next, we have our other target for the Sanji, which is going to be the 9 cost 10k Monkey D. Luffy. On play, return 1 or more Dawn cards from play to your Dawn deck, draw 1 card, and then the character gains Rush. So it's a really good target for Sanji. Nothing else to say there. Rush into the opponent. We still run 1 Red Rock. Main, place up to 1 character at the bottom of its owner's deck, 6 cost, right? We'll run just one of those, one of the Gravity Blade Raging Tigers just in case. The main is place up to, it's a 7 cost main, place up to 2 cost 6 or less characters in any order on the bottom of their owner's deck. Trigger's good on both of those cards, so it's always been in a blue-purple Luffy deck. Next, we have the Gum Gum Giant. Counter, Dawn -2. You may trash 1 card from your hand. If your leader has Straw Hat crew type, give up to one of your leader characters plus 4,000 power for this battle. Then draw 2 cards. It's even better now in this deck because there's no -1 for many of your character cards, and you're able to just use it clearly on your 10 Dawn turn. -2, you're still going to be at 8 Dawn and be able to use your leader ability, right? So it's a safe bet. Combo it with the Gear 2, right? It's another ramp option if you really need it, but mainly use it as a counter, so it's a 1 cost. Main, you may rest 2 of your Dawn cards, so 3 Dawn. Your leader, if your leader is a blue, add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck rested, and then the counter is just plus 3,000 power. Really good card. Next, we have the Thunder Bagua, 2 cost. Its counter is your leader up to one of your characters gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. Then if you have 2 or less life cards, add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck rested. The trigger is add 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So really good. It's always been a staple for blue purple. Now we run 4. Next, we have God Thread. We only run 2 of this. Its main is KO up to one of your opponent's 5 cost or below characters, then add up to 1 active Dawn from your Dawn deck. The trigger is add up to 1 active Dawn from your Dawn deck. So it's decent, but you know, we'd much rather have a lot of counters. And so we have 8 2Ks, we have 4, 8, 12 counter event cards, and our main targets for this deck is Aramaki, Mihawk, and Luffy. I've played a decent amount of games now, but I'm going to do more further testing, but I just wanted to show this off as an early show into how I think BP is still a decent leader, although I did put him in my tier list as like a D or ABC C tier, I think. Not F really, but a C tier, and I think that still stands true. It is a C tier because it's not consistent anymore, but it's still fun, and it's still, when you hit it off just right, it just works. Okay, so this is the deck list. One thing I was going to mention a while ago that I did not was, you know, when I said let's just keep going, is there is room to put in the 8 cost Rush Luffy, but I don't know how many of those you'd want to put in. Maybe in place of Aramaki, maybe in place of something else, but I think, you know, there is room to put in the 8 cost SEC, you know, the secret rare Rush Luffy, 8 cost one. I just don't know what I would take out from the deck just yet. So, but anyways, let's get straight into the games, and I think you guys will enjoy this one. So, okay, so our first match today is against Purple Black Luffy. Pretty good meta contender, right? So it's up there, and I think I remember this match. This is a good match. So our opponent chooses to go first. They take our first from us, and so we go ahead, we were on second. We have the Bon Cray in our hand. We might as well just keep this, right? Use card because we already mulliganed, so it's what we're left with. We got 2 Dawn. We pass it over. There's nothing really we can do. Our opponent plays out the Trafalgar Law, does a search. They get the Monkey D. Luffy, the Beer Luffy, right? That allows them to be plus 2,000. And we see that they take the Nico Robin too with the 1 cost search. So they did 2 searches, one with the Law, one with the event, and with the event they take a Nico Robin. We do take that into account. So we counter out of this one, we counter out with the Nami and the Zorojuro, so we stay below the 5 card threshold, right? And so we're on our 4 Dawn turn. We just use the Blonde Cray to ramp up. 1 active Dawn, attack into them for 7, they take. Simple. So now here they attack with the law, I'm pretty sure. Yep, they don't have anything else to play on this turn, so they attack 7k into us. We take, because we can't really counter out, right? So now we're on our 7 Dawn turn. We have a Nami and a Ban Cray, but I think here we attack into the law first, copy it, 2k. They take this. Let me speed this up a little bit, sorry. Okay, so they counter out of that, weirdly enough. So we play the Nami. We place on top the Mihawk and the Rush Luffy, I think, in this situation. No, the Ban Cray. So notice how in here, I'm under the impression that in the sim, the first card that you pick gets placed first, and then the second card that you pick gets placed first. At the time of me doing this game, I wasn't really sure of that. So I was just thinking, I hope I'm correct, right? And you'll see why that's important here in a second. And so we go ahead and play out attack into their law so they don't have a body on board. We pass it over to them. They have the chance to play their Nico Robin out, but they play a B or Luffy instead. Now they're at 7k. They attack into our Bon Cray for 8. We let that go, of course. We're not going to block. And notice here, we're on our 9 Dawn turn. I noticed that we got the Bon Cray from our top deck. That means our next card is Mihawk. Now you can call this luck or whatever, but I wanted to do that on purpose. And so if it was a real game, like a physical game, that this would have been the outcome either way, right? So we notice we got the Bon Cray. We play out the Sanji to bring out the Mihawk and bottom deck their Beer Luffy. So really, really good play. Now they're at 7k. We can attack. We pass it back over. They can't, they have to play another Beer Luffy in order to get that plus 2k. So I think they do end up using the Nico Robin here as a blocker, right? Or no, they Beer Luffy again. They do later end up playing the Nico Robin. I just forget when. So they Beer Luffy again. They attack us for 8. We counter out of this 2k, 1k. Because we're conservative with our life now, right? There's no healing. Gotta remember, there's no more healing. We have to always be safe. So we go ahead, counter out with 3 Dawn. They pass it back over to us. We use our leader ability. We notice there's a Sanji, a 2k, a Gum Gum Giant, and a Thunder Bagua. We take the 2k for Nosuke. We leave this on top just because we think, we like the cards that are here. We've got counters, we've got a Nami, and we've got that Sanji, but we already have a Sanji in hand. So anyways, we place this, the Gum Gum Giant versus what we want to draw, Sanji next. We play out the Mihawk and bottom deck their Luffy again. So that's 2 Beer Luffys, that's 2 turns they've wasted. We don't attach 1 Dawn just because we want to be able to counter out of anything, right? We attack 9k, 9k. They counter out of this one. Black Spiral, and we pass it back over. Right, so we have 2 Gum Gum Giants and a 2k in hand. We have a decent sized board now. We can't really complain. They get the Robin off finally. This was what I was talking about. We trash the Giant and the Sanji because we know there's a Sanji coming up. So we don't really need to worry about that, but we do want to keep the Luffy as a surprise for our opponent, right? So, or a target for Gum Gum Giant. But anyways, they have 4 Dawn left. They play the Frankie blocker, and they use their leader ability. Okay, so now we have Sanji Mihawk again on the top of our deck. Maybe this was just lucky, but this was what was happening with Sanji and Mom, 9-cost Mom, right? So it's the same concept. You're just not healing. So it can be decently consistent, I think, just a little bit, but not really, as long as you have the counters that you need in it. So anyways, we go ahead, take the Nami. That's the only thing we can because we want to hide the Sanji. Return cards to the deck, draw the Sanji. We attack first, see if they counter out because we want to test the waters first. Attack with the Nami, we're comfortable enough to do that, right? Because here's my thinking also, they have 5 cards in hand, and if they don't take this, if they block out with this, we can just use the Sanji Mihawk, right? Or I mean the SEC Luffy counter. Sorry, I didn't mean that. What I meant was, if they don't take this and we keep going and they lose more cards in the hand, we can play out the SEC Luffy because we have 3 more 9k attacks. So go ahead, play that out. Attack for 9k. We play the Sanji out so we can get rid of the Frankie. So we attack with the Nami so we can replace the Nami. We play out the Sanji, get the Mihawk out, and bottom deck the Frankie. Now we have 3 9k attacks that they have to either block into or counter out of. So we go ahead, attack 9. They use Gum Gum Giant. Or no, they take this and then we attack 9 again. They Gum Gum Giant out of this one. Yep. Get rid of the Zoro. Draw 2. We attack again for 9. And they take life and they're down to 0. We still have 2 life. And our board is filled up with all 9Ks. So we're in a great position. They do have 1 Robin on board, so even if they tried to go for lethal, they can only take 2 of our lives. We have a Gum Gum Giant still, we have a 2k and we have a 1k. So we're doing pretty decent. They attack 7 into us, we counter with a 2k. They use a Monkey D. Luffy to have another turn. Get rid of all characters. Attach 1, attack for 6. We counter out with our 1k. They take another turn after this, right? So they draw 1 card, draw 2 Dawn. They're at 5 Dawn, get another active Dawn from the 10k Luffy. And then they're at 6 Dawn now. So 6k into our leader. We let it go. We get God Thread, but there's no point. They attack 12k into us. We take, because really, is there any 4 cost rush that they have, right? No, they don't. So they pass it back over to us. This is essentially game. And we have another Mihawk and Sanji on our life. Mihawk, Sanji, and Monkey D. Luffy. So we're in the best position ever to just aggro them down. And so this is where we have to go for game for sure though. We have 5 big bodies. They never dealt with it. We go ahead and take the Rush Luffy just so they know. 9k to 5. They have to counter out. Gum Gum Giant. SEC Luffy gone. They have to counter, give us 1 more k. They give us a 2k Black Maria. We attack for 9 again. They Gum Gum Giant again, I think, because they have that. Yep. Pretty crazy. They use 2 Gum Gum Giants. Now they're at 2 Dawn. Counter out. We attack for 9 again. We still have 10 of our Dawn, right? They Black Spiral. Counter out. And we attack for 9k and that's game. 19k, just to be a little cocky. So yeah, that was our first game against Purple Black. And Purple Black's pretty, you know, he's up there. So this was a good game for us and let's go on to the next one. Okay everyone, we're in our second game. It's going to be against Yellow Kalgara. Now I did rank Yellow Kalgara as B tier and he is B tier, especially with the support that he has. You'll be seeing that in this game, but we just are able to bottom deck his stuff, right? So we go ahead, take first. We chose to go first. It's our better curve. We got the Zoro in hand, so we're good on ramping, and we have the Thunder Bagua. We play out the Zoro, attack for 6. We should have attacked first, honestly. Like I always say, sequencing is very important. So they attack for 6. We allow it. We luckily, you know, we're comfortable taking that first life just to see if we get a trigger, just because we need to use the Thunder Bagua to ramp up faster, right? And you need 2 or less life in order to use it. So we take it. We luckily get the God Thread from our life and get an active Dawn from it. We're at 4 Dawn. We're going to be on our 6 Dawn next turn. So 6 Dawn, we need 2 left for the Thunder Bagua. We attach 3 to the Zoro, right? Because we get 1 active. So 7 to leader, sorry. We have 4 Dawn still, and then attach 2 more Dawn to our leader. So 7 and 8 attack. Really good. We have 2k for the Thunder Bagua. We're doing fine. So we go ahead, attach 2. Attack for 7. 8, I mean, sorry, not 7. They take. So now they're down to 3 life, and we're still at 2 life, okay? They have the ability to heal though, and we don't. So they use Holly to attack into our Zoro, but we counter out with the Thunder Bagua, of course. So we get that extra Dawn, so that now we're on our 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Dawn turn, and we can use our leader ability finally, right? So they attach 1 Dawn to their Kalgara, play out a body for free with their leader ability, which I think is the Kalgara. Yep, 5 cost Kalgara that whenever something happens with life on any opponent or there, if a life card leaves, they can draw. I think that's how it works. So we're able to use our leader ability. We take the Usohachi, we draw into... Let's actually back up a bit. I want to show that off. So they attack into our... instead of our Zorojuro, they attack into us and we counter out, right? Which I think they should have gone for the Zorojuro, but it is what it is. So we counter out. We on our leader ability turn, they play out another Holly. We have Usohachi, Gum Gum Giants. We place this on the bottom just because there's no Sanjis, there's no good cards, right? So we just let it go to the bottom. We have our Sanji in hand, but we have the Mihawk in hand also to bottom deck that Kalgara, so they quit getting draw. And they already have so many cards in hand. So we try to count this out. It's 9 Dawn for the Mihawk. We attach 1 to the Zoro, attack for 5 to Holly. They counter out. Oh no, they do take. So we play out the Mihawk, bottom deck their Kalgara, and then attack for 6. They're like, what just happened? So yep, attack for 6, and they counter out of this one. Yep, 2k, and then we pass it back to them. So now we have 1 huge body on board. They do have a 5k on board, 5k power body on board, and so they're able to use their leader ability again. They use their leader ability, take top of their life, bring out the 6 cost Kalgara, 8000 power, and then they bring out a Norland to heal 1 more. So they attack for 6 into us. We counter out. They pass it back over to us for some reason because they don't... I guess, yeah, they can't attack with anything else anyways. But they should have gone for our Zara. I don't know why they kept leaving it up. So now we have Gear 2, Gravity Blade, and Red Rock. This is really good for us. We don't have any of our big bodies, but that's fine. But we do have util cards. And so here, we take the Gear 2, we make the Gravity Blade the next card that we draw, and we bottom their Kalgara and their Norland. So that we control the board still. So we go ahead and do this. Have the 9 cost up next. Use the Gravity Blade. Take 2 off the board. We attach 1, attack 5 to Holly. And then I think they counter out, right? Just so they keep a body on board. So we attack 6 into it next. And they let this one go. 7. Just because we have 1 Dawn for the Gear 2, right? To be safe. 7. They let this go. And then we attack 9 into their leader. And then they take. This was a fun match, actually. I remember this one now. Although they do have the 1 cost L Thor event if they really wanted to use it and then counter 1. But they don't have it. So we pass it back over to them. We got rid of their board. We still have our board. We're completely fine. Completely safe. Might run more Gravity Blade. Might run a little more Red Rock. It just depends. We'll see. I'm kind of satisfied with the amount of 2Ks and counters that we have. Event counters that we have. So they have the Kuma. Okay, now remember we had the Red Rock a while ago, and so I'm thinking we still have that Red Rock. We don't want him to heal again. We can just bottom deck the Kuma, so they don't have a free attacker on board. So they attack into our Zorojuro. Finally, we let that go. They use the upper yard. They have 2 Dawn left. They got the L Thor from their search, right? So we know they have an L Thor available for use against us. Use the card action. Now we see we got the Red Rock. We take the Red Rock. Rush Luffy is still a good use for our Sanji. Good hit for our Sanji, I mean. We take the Zorojuro for counter, I'm pretty sure that's all. So we don't show them that we have the Red Rock, but we do use the Red Rock. So we attack for 6. They counter out. We attack for 9. They counter out again, I'm pretty sure. So that they can still use their leader ability. Yep, L Thor and then Ohm. So we use the Red Rock instead to bottom deck the Kuma. We're comfortable enough because we still have like 4 Dawn. Here I end up playing the Zorojuro, but I don't think I should have done that. I think I should have just kept it in hand as a counter because we don't use it anyways in any more rounds turns, I mean, to attack with. So, you know, I think in hindsight, we should have just left all that Dawn open, because they have 3 attacks. So now we have a 2k and a gear 2 in hand. I don't know if they're thinking of going for life here. Maybe they thought they couldn't. Maybe they thought, who knows what they were thinking. I think they could have gone for lethal here, you know, but they didn't know what I had. So the attack for 6, we counter out with a 2k. They're trying to figure out what to play out, but they end up taking the top of their life if they do that, right? So I think it was a mistake on their end, because now they can't bring out a blocker or anything else. What can they do, right? They don't have any blockers, so they end up giving up. I don't know why they didn't pull through. Maybe they could have played the ace to attack into us. I don't think they were thinking, but if they would have, so let's imagine. I think if they kept going, it would have been fine, but they just didn't feel comfortable enough. We did have a 2k and an Aramaki coming, but still, let's talk about this real quick before we move to the next game. If he played out the Wiper, 5 cost 7k, had a 2k counter and an L Thor saved, he could have used 5 Dawn to bring out the ace. So he would have attached some Dawn to his leader attack. We would have tried to counter. Attack for... He had 4 attacks basically. I think if he would have kept going and just tried to swing for lethal, he would have won. But I think he was thinking that, you know, I could just keep countering out, and I had Gumroom Giant. So all in all, that was also a really great game. You can see the power of Mihawk being able to bottom deck a 7 cost. It's a good replacement for what Katakuri and Big Mom is just for now. So let's go into the next game. Okay, everyone, we're here with the final game. It's against Yellow Enel. And so let's get right into it. This was one of those, I think this was one of the lucky games that I had where I was able to chain Sanji Mihawks constantly. And it's really fun. Let's just put it that way. And I think that's the point of trading card games, right? Or card games in general, is just to have fun. So yep, this is our last game. We'll get right into it. We play the Zoroark out. We take first. Play the Zoroark out. Attack for 6. They take, of course. Pass it back over. They Kuzan our Zoroark to the bottom of our life, and that's fine. And we end up having to trash 1 card. We trash the Aramaki. So we play out the Nami. Right? Place on top. We place the... No, not the Thunder Bagua. I think it's the... Oh yeah, we do place the Thunder Bagua into SEC Luffy. Attack for 6 again. They take, of course. So they have lots of cards in hand. I don't think they're scared to get puddinged. So they use their 6 cost event card to bottom deck our Nami. And we go ahead, let it happen. There's nothing else we can do there. We don't have much else to play here. So we play out the Usohachi to rest their Kuzan so they don't have another attacker for us. Notice we're at 5 life. Pretty crazy. But we ramp up first. So now we're at 8 Dawn. And then we play the Usohachi out. Rest the Kuzan. Here I was thinking whether we should save it or not. But I think, you know, we have 5 life. We're comfortable, you know, just getting rid of it. So we hit him with the 7k. Gone. Clear board. We have a Usohachi on board, not that it can attack unless we add Dawn. So they have a Kuma, they heal. Okay. Next turn, we have leader ability, so we're psyched. We take this one, free 2k, easy. Use our card ability. Now we have a Sanji and Mihawk right there, ripe for the taking. We go ahead and take gear 2 here, I think. Get the leave this on top, put the Sanji in, put the Mihawk next. We also have Red Rock and Thunder Bagua, you know, on our top deck, so we're doing real good. I think in this, I was thinking instead of them having a free, I think we Red Rock instead. Instead of them having a free swing at us, we just get rid of the Kuma so they don't heal also. So we draw the Red Rock. Although it would have been smart to just, no, because he's not 7 cost, so we would have waited for next turn. But we go ahead and play him out anyways. We should have waited 1 more turn. We could have just Red Rocked him, but that's fine. We now have 2 big bodies on our board. We attack for 6. He takes, of course, more cards. Usually you want to starve in Enel, but I think we're completely fine. He uses the trigger for the 2 cost bird, zap, whatever, Thunderbird. KOs our Usohachi, so he attacks for 7, we counter with 2k. We're still at 4 life, we're doing good. Thanks for the heals, Enel, right? So now, he plays out a big body for sure. I forget what it is. Attacks for 7, we 2k out again. Although we do have one for our Gum Gum Giant or Red Rock. He can't hit any of our cards, right? He Charlotte Katakuri'd 8 cost. He couldn't hit our Mihawk, it's 9 cost. He couldn't hit our Sanji, it's 9 cost. We were safe. So now we have another Sanji and Mihawk to play out. We can now bottom deck the Kuma because it doesn't have the +2. It only has it for 1 turn. So we still have a good hand here. We take the Gear 2, draw the Sanji, play out the Sanji, bottom deck the Kuma, attack for 6. They take. Notice how good it is when you do high roll. So attack for 9. Attack for 9. They trash one, we attack for 9 again. They trash one. Now we have 4 9Ks on board. A lot of events to counter out. We're doing good. So they attack 8 into us. We use Gear 2, counter out. Oh no, we take. So we get an SEC Luffy. They attack into... I think that's why we saved the Gear 2, because we knew they were going to come out with the Enel. And, you know, now we can use the Gum Gum Giant to protect it, so that we have all our big bodies on board. So they go ahead and attack into it. We use our Gum Gum Giant for it. We trash the Gravity Blade because there's no targets for it. And so it's 13k, we're good. Now we have another Mihawk on top, right? And it's fine, there's no targets for it, but we're not going to use it because we have a bunch of SEC Luffys. Now we take the 2k and draw into the Gear 2. I think that's completely fine. We Red Rock the Enel, so they can't heal anymore next turn. But first we attack, right? So we attack 9 into the Katakuri. They defend it. Oh no, they don't defend it. Maybe they're thinking they want to save their big, you know, body Enel. So maybe they didn't have enough counters. So we attack for 9, they take. They cycle a card, trash ace. We attack for 9 again. They end up countering out with this one. Attack for 9 again. They take. We play out the Red Rock, bottom deck the Enel. Now they have no bodies on board. So we attach Dawn, attack for 7. And they have no more counters. Or they just gave up. They did have counters, but they didn't want to keep going, right? Because there's just so much to deal with. We were able to chain connect Sanji Mihawk, and you know, that is the game basically. And so those 3 games, I can post more games if you guys want. I do have more games, so if you're interested in that, I can post those videos. Just comment below if you want to see those videos. But I'm gonna do more deck testing with Blue Purple Luffy and see if I can find a way to make it decently viable, right? But for now, this, instead of running the Don Quixote package, which I really don't like, I don't like the Don Quixote package at all, just because it takes too much setup. And so this is a good replacement, and it's really fun. It's really fun to play around with, and it makes it kind of pisses the opponents off a little bit when you chain the Mihawks with the Sanjis, right? Because you're just bottom decking all their characters. So all in all, still a decent deck. I think it is C tier, of course, in comparison to all the other leaders, but that's the video I have for you today. I hope everyone enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.